This relates to other nations burning American flag, relating to for example, anti-American sentiment and opposition relating to U.S. foreign policies on a global aspect or on a global scale. Example, Argentina protesters have burned U.S. flags outside American embassy, Buenos Aires. Demonstrations against U.S. actions, which goes to the policies. Brazil, Rio de Janeiro, Sao Paulo. U.S. flags were burned in protest condemning U.S. involvement related to Venezuela. In the situation with the Venezuela, U.S. and Venezuela, that's why these countries. Greece, U.S. flag was set ablaze in Athens, opposition to U.S. military strikes. Iran, during the mass protests, Iranians have burned both U.S. and Israeli flags, chanting anti-West slogans, man. Philippines, demonstrating in Manila, have burned American flags outside the U.S. Embassy. South Korea, protesters in Seoul have held demonstrations to burn the flag in front of the U.S. Embassy. So these are example of a few countries and others. North Korea, their sentiments. China, their sentiments. France, even the allied nations. North Korea, China, Iran, Russia. You know what I mean? So various other countries relating to, that's what I was reading. The U.S. is considering as an option, possibly considering an option related to military, relating to acquirement of Greenland. Basically, military is an option. That was what the press secretary Caroline Leavitt was discussing. Trump and his team are discussing relating to as military always could be an option. So, because they want to acquire Greenland as well. And the other, the EU nations, they are opposed relating to that. You know what I mean? So you have intentions. A nation divided against itself, how can that nation stand? If a kingdom divided against itself, how that nation can stand? If Satan be divided against itself, how can he stand but have an end? So you see in the division. Go to 2 Daniel's relating to on the feet. Relating to the broken toes, some strong, some weak, man. You know what I mean? So, and and that goes to them not meshing or connecting or really sticking together, man. You know what I mean? Relating to on an adhesive term. You know what I mean? So they never cleave together, man, because they never were together. You know what I mean? And that goes to EU and the nations, man. You know what I mean? That's why some are weak. That's why some are strong. The strong compensate for the weaker ones. You know what I mean? So these nations are going to turn. Go to Revelations, talking about they shall hate the whore and burn her with fuel of fire. 17:16 of Revelations. So these nations are beginning to show their horns, man, towards America, man. You know, I mean, even the allied nations, man. Even the allied nations are vexed relating to the policies. Scripture talks about iniquity shall abound, love of many shall wax cold. So the allied nations, they're beginning to wax cold for certain things, man. You know what I mean? So. And you're seeing that, man. You know. This was something short. It's quick to the point. Hope it helps. Zayal War Shalom.